Hello and welcome back to Let's Talk Shop, Season 6, and we are now on episode 4. I'm so excited about this season. I would love to hear your feedback if you enjoyed it. And of course, remember to tag me over on Instagram. You can find me on small_business_collaborative. And feel free to tag Sasha as well, since she is the only guest for this season. So that is cheekysebra.com. The links for that is in the show notes, so you can find it all there. This episode is a bit different, and if you are a regular listener to the podcast, I would advise you to go and have a look at it on YouTube, because we filmed in Brighton when Sasha went to call, and we did some sort of mini interviews in the street, if you will. So it'll be quite fun to see it in the YouTube video, I think. Of course, you can also listen in. It does mean that there was a bit more background noise, etc. So I hope it will be okay to listen to as well. But let's head to Brighton, and I'll see you after the episode.
Okay, so my heart's actually beating. So me and Therese have just been walking around. Is it the lanes in Brighton?
Yeah, I think we're in Kensington Lane.
Okay, Kensington Lane, and we found a store that we thought might be a good fit, but it's actually a store that I've contacted a couple of years ago, and I chased this woman to death, and I just got air, and so I actually felt a bit phobic as we were walking past the store, and then Therese was like, "No, you need to go in." So I went in, and my heart's literally beating. But I went in and I asked to speak to the owner, and luckily I was speaking to her. She was actually so lovely, and I said, "You do really nice cards. I thought we might be a good fit. We do some cards." So I gave her my sample pack, and she said, "Oh, if that's all the cards, come back to me when you've got more cards." And I was like, "Oh, no, that's not all the cards. We have a whole range." And then she was more interested, and so I asked her as well when she starts doing Valentine's Day, because she had said that she was busy didn't want to do anything for Christmas now. So my brain was like, "Quick, say something." So I said Valentine's Day, and she said, "Yeah, that would be great." And so we left it where she has the samples and access to the catalogue, and I'm going to email and follow up. But now I know her name, I can probably call her as well. So I feel a bit sick, but fine. How do you think I did?
I think you did really well. I'm very impressed. I don't know if the sound is going to come through, but I'm very impressed that you then still asked about Valentine's.
Yeah,
That was really
because I think she was ready to shut me down. I was like, no, please.
in the nicest way.
But yeah, no, she was really, really lovely. So one down, another, how many to go?
9.
Okay, great.
How are you feeling about this one?
Okay, so another post-match interview. So Therese just took me to a sex shop, everybody who's listening. No, it was good. I felt like the woman was she was really lovely, but I felt like she was a bit standoffish at first. But I think it's because she was busy, and it's that thing of not wanting to disturb someone. So we spoke to her, she was really nice. When we went in, they had cards on the walls that said "I love anal" and stuff, so I felt like it was going to be okay. Did you feel like we were in the right?
I definitely felt like it could be the right fit for you, price point wise and stuff. I love how my first message to you this morning was that we should go to the sex shop.
That was literally the first thing you said to me today. So yes, we went to the sex shop. The lady was really nice. The owners weren't in, so she was kind of like, "You can come back another day." And I was like, "Well, I'm only here for the day." And then I kind of said, "Look, the cards that I've got with me are quite tame because I don't want to offend people. But actually seeing your store, I think we could do really well for Valentine's Day with you." And then I gave some examples of some of the rude ones. So I was kind of glad that I gave her examples. And I got the contact details and the owner's name, so that now when I email to follow up, I can kind of send quite a tailored email and be like, "Hi, I loved your store. I think we've got some really good rude cards that would do great for you for Valentine's Day. Here they are." So what do you think? What do you think the result is? Do you think we'll get in there? Do you think maybe not? Because there wasn't a lot of card space.
There wasn't a lot of card space, so that would be one thing that is maybe a challenge. But I definitely think that some of the more extra cheeky cards could fit in really well in there. So let's see. You'll definitely have to follow up with them.
Yeah, I think it's a really good lesson as to not be discouraged, because obviously I could have walked in there, seen the card space not be huge, saw that the woman was busy, and just felt a little bit because I did feel a bit anxious, I don't want to bother her. But we did, and I spoke to her, and she was nice, and it's now a potential lead. So I think the lesson here is probably, yeah, when you're anxious, just do it. It is getting easier though.
Told you, like the first few is like really hard, and you like make excuses in every shop you go into, and then like you've got kind of go like, I have nothing to lose after a while.
How have you found it watching me? Am I getting more confident? Like, give me notes, give me feedback.
I think you're doing really well. It's really hard for me not to talk.
It's helpful.
No, like I'm trying to stay out of it because like I want you to have that experience, but like I find it really hard to not talk, because you know, me shutting up is it's not that common.
I think it's like also Teresa's such a natural, so like when I'll be saying stuff, because there was one lady and she was sort of saying like, is that all of your cards? And Teresa's like, no, she's got over 1,000 cards. Like, you know, because I know that you've exercised this muscle, it's like you already know what to say like straight away. But no, it's been really helpful having you here actually. I think I'm getting better, so I think that eventually, well not eventually, after today I should be able to do it on my own. I'm going to start keeping sample packs with me at all times, so that if I ever pass somewhere that could be a good place, I'm just kind of going to go in and be like, hi.
Love that. I think that's great. And with that, I think we're going to move on to the next shop. Cards. How does it feel to see your cards out in the live, like in real life, in a shop?
I'm genuinely embarrassingly excited. Like, look, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, they're all our cards. And also this shop is absolutely gorgeous. Like, it's so bright, which is like perfect because our stuff's really bright. So you come in, you feel warm, and like I just keep going around the whole store like, we're there, we're there, we're there, and it's like,
Well, that's because you have over 1,000 cards.
we do. I think what's hit me as well is like, even this store, you know, when I was trying to chase him, I felt a bit like, oh, I just stopped trying, he's not bothered, and now look, we're in the shop and we're like, he's one of our regular customers. He's probably been our longest customer now. He's easily placed upwards of 6-7 orders with us. So I'm having a bit of a like moment.
Well, that's good. I think that this also means that, you know, when you go out and see things like this, you can find motivation and it feels like it actually happened, which I think is really cool.
I think I have to remember that more. Even like every card that's in here, somebody has just been brave. And I think when you think about it like that, it's a bit more like, oh, okay, that's just what you need to do. You just need to be brave.
Yeah. You mean from the other suppliers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they started a business.
Yes. Or no, but also like to even be in the shop, they would have had to like sell, right? Like everybody's had to do it.
Yeah.
And it's just part of it. And I think now I'm like, oh, okay, actually that's just what you do. Don't get so stressed. It's not that scary. I think that's what today's done for me, is like, it's just made me realise like, it's really just not that scary. They're just people.
Yeah. And everyone has been nice and friendly. And yes, it's scary at first. But the scariness is also like when you walk out of the shop and you left your sample pack or you see your things, like, don't you feel like a real sense of accomplishment?
Yeah, 100%. Each time you kind of just, regardless of the outcome, you just get this rush afterwards of like, I just did it. At least I did it. And then you've done everything you can, and everything's out of your control from there.
So we are now situated in a pub. I think I'll do an intro later so we don't take so much time here. We borrowed the function room. We've been in Brighton all day. And how have you found it, Sasha?
Tiring. I'm tired. Brighton's a lot of hill. But no, I've actually found it really rewarding today and going to the shops, because I think at the start I was really nervous, and I think now I just feel quite, you know, when you've like done something scary and then you realise it's not that scary, and now so I definitely feel a lot more confident now about approaching shops.
Oh,
So
I'm so
I would
glad.
say it's been a success from that perspective.
That's good. And do you want to? We filmed some snippets for you. And there's some mini interviews out in the street that we hope will turn out good. But do you want to talk about, so we're here in Brighton because one, Sasha has a stockist here and we wanted to go and see the cards in real life. And two, we thought while we're here, we'll do a little bit of cold calling and leaving sample packs. So how did you prepare for this little outing?
Oh, cool. So Cherise basically said like she's going to force me to go into shops and try and sell my cards. is what's going on today. And so what I did is I put together, because I was thinking like I kind of want to leave people with something tangible we don't have like a wholesale catalogue because I just didn't want to spend the money printing them. So our wholesale catalogue's online. So what I did was I got like just a little envelope, I don't know if you can see it in shots, so if you can't, and I picked out like just a few of our bestsellers, and I think we went for non-seasonal ones in the end, didn't we? So I had like, and I knew that Brighton's quite tongue-in-cheek, so I tried to go for like funny ones. So we've got the milk, we've got like a nice one, got boobs, although one shop really did not like this one.
And the most surprising one, I would say.
Yeah, well, they had like really rude cards, like anal on the walls, but I think she felt quite personally attacked because she said that like she'd just been breastfeeding or whatever, and I was like, I'm really sorry. Anyway, what I also did is I got in each pack, I did like a card that was going direct to the shop. So what we did is, let me see if I can open it. Because I wanted something like, I just didn't want to give the cards, I wanted them to also have a sense of like who we were as a business, because I think that's really hard to get like across without a catalogue. So
and drop the, you know, so they had the access to the catalogue
exactly
as well.
So this says just a little something from the self-proclaimed world's greatest card shop, so that kind of lets you know like what we're like in terms of like we're quite sassy. And so then yeah, it's just like a sweet little message here that kind of says like, hey there, if you've got this, it's because we've been walking around Brighton today and we thought your shop was amazing. That's kind of the vibe. And then there's a QR code, which I'm hoping will be really useful. And actually with the QR code, I get an email every time someone downloads it.
Oh, that's good.
So I can see like if it's being looked at, if at all.
Yeah.
And then our details there. So that was really cool. So these are the little packs, and we kind of left them with about 5 or 6 shops today, I think.
Yeah. So we have been filming when we've gone into shops, like after we've gone out of the shops and stuff, a little bit of a reaction and stuff, and in Sasha's stockist. So how do you feel now when you've been around? You found it quite intimidating and scary at the beginning, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely found it intimidating at the beginning. It'll be interesting, like, because after each one, Therese did like a little mini, like, it was almost like it was BBC News. She was like, how was the experience? So if you watch those, you'll see like how it was.
With our fairy microphone.
Yeah, with our fairy microphone. And it was, so yeah, how do I feel a lot more chill. I don't know, did you find that I got better at it the more we did?
Yeah.
Like, you just feel a lot more relaxed. I think I just kind of, it went from feeling like, oh my god, I went, like the first one I was like, I'm wasting their time, and then by the fourth one I was like, no, like I'm helping them out, it's just a nice
You weren't making as many excuses, I think, by the fourth one. I've actually intentionally haven't told you much, but you didn't take no for an answer in the last one.
Oh yeah, this woman did not. Okay, so the woman at the shop, she didn't really want to take my sample. She was like, because she was the buying decision maker, and she was just very much like, oh well, why don't you just email a catalogue, and if he likes it, then he'll ask for samples. And I was like, I get that, but the samples are here, so why don't you just take the samples and I'll email him anyway, and then if he likes them, the samples are there, and then if not, you can get rid of them. I'm not going to ask you for them back, or you don't have to like post them back to me or anything, and it's not a problem. Because I think I was trying to work out in my head while she was talking like what her issue was with the samples.
Yeah, because like you definitely fit into that shop. So this wasn't one of those shops that is like you go in and you feel like, oh, maybe we would fit in here. You would fit into that shop.
Yeah, so I felt a little bit like, no lady, I'm not going to take this. But she was really nice. She wasn't horrible at all, but it was more just like, I was trying to think desperately, like maybe she just thought like, if you're not a fit, are you going to try and ask us to post them back? I don't know what she was thinking, but yeah, in the end she said, yeah, that's fine.
And it's so much easier to follow up on a sample book pack as well.
Yeah, because then you've got given something there. One of the things I learned today as well was like ask questions. So when they say like, oh, now's not a good time, which is like obviously completely fair, but then just say, oh no, completely understand, when do you start shopping for Valentine's Day? And I found that question really helped us today.
Yeah, and someone said that they are closing the shop, and someone else said that they're 100% are not taking on new card suppliers because they do most of their cards themselves. But you being prompting and asking questions made sure that they actually told you that information.
Yeah, because otherwise I wouldn't have known any different. So I found that was like really helpful. And also there was the one shop that kind of, she said like, I'm not looking at the moment, and then I said, oh, what about Valentine's Day? She goes, to be fair, we are looking for Valentine's Day quite soon. And then I was able to say, because Therese prompted me, but like Valentine's Day is actually where our cards perform best. So I think I definitely learned about like trying where possible to make it a conversation and ask a question almost to a no.
Well, I think you did really well. I thought I would have to give you way more of a pep talk before. So you did really, really well.
Oh my god, did you really?
Yeah, you did really well. I think you did super well, and yeah, we had a nice day, didn't we?
I think definitely all the cold calling of the shops on the phone made a big difference. I felt more. I think that was really good training for today.
Yeah, less awkward this
Yeah.
way. Yeah. So we are going to play you some of the interviews about how Sasha felt when she went to visit the shops, and then we are going to be back next week with another episode where we'll kind of wrap up and see how the follow-up went and where Sasha is now with her wholesale.
That'll be exciting to
Yeah.
look back to where we've come.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for following along this journey. I really hope you like this format of the podcast, and I am planning to continue to do YouTube videos after the season is done. So that's going to be fun and something that I'm hope to get better at. Of course, if you are interested in working together, I am now taking on clients for next year, and I have just released, together with Catherine Erdley from Resilient Retail, we have been working on reshooting our wholesale courses, which is sort of pay as you grow, if you will. So you can buy just a module on pricing or sales material, or you can buy it as a bundle. And that is all in my bio, in my bio. I think I'm on Instagram, don't I? That is something you can find over on my website. I'm going to link it in the show notes so you can head straight to look at the courses if wholesale is something that you are planning to look at, perhaps now in between Christmas and New Year's or next year. We will be back with another episode of the podcast next Monday, and I hope to see you then.